Hello guys, my name is Behroz and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I have a financial market expert, Ali Merchant. I've called him previously as well on this channel for a podcast where he takes us through the expected earnings, the earnings that are coming up and what to expect from the earnings, how to invest based on the expectations that are there. So it's a great guideline. It's a great education that Ali always gives us, provides us on this channel. So without further wait, I'll just pass it on to him. So Ali, if you can quickly introduce yourself and then go into the details of what to expect from the upcoming earnings. So over to you, Ali.
Thank you. Thanks, Barrows, as usual. So nice to be on your podcast. So my name is Ali Merchant, as Barrows mentioned. By designation, I'm CMT. I'm into financial market for 25 plus years, and I'm a full-time day trader plus investor. I founded a company by the name TWT Learning. I'll give you a detail in a bit. TWT Learning provides education and financial advisory. So we'll have more details about it. Been into industry for 25 plus years. Been covered North America, Asia, Middle East, Africa. So from Thomson Reuters platform. So without further ado, let's go into what I'm going to show you. We have an earning from Nvidia. So Nvidia, which is the largest $4 trillion company, and there will be a lot of information which I would like to share. So let me start sharing my screen. All right, let's go. Okay, so today's topic, what we are going to cover specific to Nvidia, we're going to look into the upcoming earning calendars. Halfway, the week is almost 2 days are gone, so we'll see what the other earnings are in line, and then we'll look into S&P and Nasdaq and Nasdaq 100 and Dow Jones weekly technical outlook. Then we'll look into the seasonality patterns, right? And we'll look into Nvidia earnings, and I'll give you some information of what to look at. Right? So let's start, and let me go to the next slide. 1 second. Okay. So what we have on the earning calendar from tomorrow, so we have Nvidia, Snowflake, we have CrowdStrike, HP, Viva, which I think all 5 of them, these are technology companies into the earning tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we have Dollar General, which is the retail sector, will tell us what the retail sector is doing in the US. We have Best Buy, TD, CIBC Bank, the North American, the Canadian banks. And then we have Marvell, and we have Dell aftermarket on Thursday. We have Ulta, which is the beauty retailer. So that's where, and then we have on Friday, we have Alibaba, e-commerce, cloud computing, IT from China. So very interesting week, but the key focus for the entire market for this week is Nvidia. Now, Nvidia will have to justify whether Nvidia is $4.34 trillion company, so one of the largest publicly listed company. So Nvidia will have to, the earning will justify whether it is worth that value, that being the largest company. So that's key to see. So let's go and let's see what we have. Okay. Now I'm showing the S&P 500 weekly chart. S&P 500 has actually, we have seen a very nice dip into trade tariff into April. We pulled back all the way. We broke through the all-time high, previous all-time high, and we have made a new all-time high. And I have actually shown you 2 scenarios. There is a reason for showing you the 2 scenarios, and that I'll explain you in a bit. The first scenario is S&P continue going higher from here, hits a new high, comes back to check the base of this channel and move higher. That is basically that is the bullish scenario. I think the ideal scenario is S&P goes higher and then it comes back to retest the previous all-time high. Technically, it is very likely. It is I've seen in the past historically that every time previous high has been taken out, the market makes a new high, comes down to retest that before going higher. And I will give you some substance for that analysis. Same thing, let's go to the next one. The next chart I have is, 1 second, I think I spent a little bit. All right, so next chart I have is Nasdaq 100, similar situation. We have seen a dip in April, trade tariff, and a lot of people were expecting doomsdays, the market is going to doom, and then eventually the market has picked up. We are a similar thing. We are in the rising channel. We go up and come down to retest the channel and go higher. And I think ideally it will be, in my opinion, in my best opinion is, or my analysis suggests that we go higher and we come down to retest this previous all-time high. And let's look at the Dow Jones. So Dow Jones, in the other hand, actually has made a new high, crossing 45K. We are in the channel. Probably, I think that Dow Jones will be the first one to come and retest 45K before it goes higher. Because most of the earnings, what we are expecting this week is technology related. So Dow Jones may have some pullback move and then it moves higher. There is a possibility that Dow Jones may break through that 45K, retest, and goes down, right? So why I think that there should be two scenarios, because what the seasonality patterns are suggesting. So especially if you look here, what I have done is I have put the seasonality pattern for Nasdaq 100 futures. What happens in the end of August? A little bit higher, then it goes down a little bit, and then move higher in September, and then it dips again before it goes out of October into new highs. And these are actually the 20 years of historical seasonality pattern. And similar, what we have seen, similar pattern in S&P futures. So basically, futures is the market which is one of the largest and liquid market. A lot of market makers, they hedge themselves. Even the large funds, they hedge themselves in the futures market. So similar thing, goes higher by the end of August, comes down, goes higher in September, makes a low somewhere in end of September, and range trade in October and goes higher. So that's why I've kept both the scenarios. Let's go and look at, okay, a little bit introduction of TWT learning. So I was actually into the institutional training. I was training the institutional traders and institutional dealers and institutional capital markets traders into how to look at the markets through the platform of Thomson Reuters. In 2021, some of my friends, they actually asked me to do the set up the training for them. And since 2021, the idea of TWT learning came into being, and I started training retail sectors friends from 2021. I do a regular program a couple of times a year. Now I offer 4 months mentorship program, and I have done about 2 or 3 this year, and I'll be announcing one soon. So if you guys are interested in understanding and learning high probability trades, how to find the investing high probability trade ideas, look at the fundamentals, economic indicators, stock options, and futures, how to do hedging, stock screening, short, medium term, long term, please reach out to me. These are my contact details, so you can find my WhatsApp and text message number. You can reach out to admin@twtlearning.com. I am on Twitter for last 1.5 years. I produce a lot of actionable ideas, so please feel free to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to visit my website, twtlearning.com, check out the testimonials, and you'll find how many I have trained so far. I'm on YouTube. I produce one weekly piece on YouTube. So for the last couple of weeks, I'm doing. So on Sunday, I produce the earning outlook for a couple of companies and market outlook. This is my email address. I am also contributing analyst with investing.com, fxstreet.com. So these are the links. So please feel free to follow. And let's go to the analytical part of what's to expect in Nvidia. And also, I produce every week a market outlook, market probability maps. Every Friday, I produce this one. Now, looking at this maps, I look at the history for almost 70 years and see 70 to 75 years that how Dow Jones have performed, and S&P has performed, or Nasdaq has performed, comparing how many times it has gone higher. But looking at what we have seen today, I think Dow Jones was like a mixed sort of price action. S&P 52% up, 57% up. But if you look at the 27th, all of them are showing the bullish numbers. 77% of the time, Dow Jones is up, S&P is 79%, and 76% of the time, Nasdaq is up. Thursday looks a little bit mixed to bearish on Dow Jones and S&P, but Nasdaq is up. So the key thing is Nasdaq 100, Nasdaq Composite is up for almost the entire week. Please feel free to follow this. These are, again, let me emphasize, these are high probability market probabilities. Uh, Please feel free to follow. I do it every Friday. I've got a lot of positive feedback about this one. Let's go into Nvidia. So this is what I'm showing you here is last 12 months rolling financials for Nvidia. Nvidia has majority of its revenue coming from data center, 131, almost 32 billion. And then its gaming is producing about 12.5 billion. And then you can see the automotive is 1.9 billion. And then you can see the others and all this about 2.0, almost 2 billion. And then revenue is 148 billion. And then you can see their gross profit 104 billion, operating profit 86 billion. Net is 76 billion after the cost of goods and R&D and income tax, which is a very strong and healthy company, right? Let's go and see what analysts are expecting. So analysts are expecting, so if you see at the scale of 10, they are expecting 9.1% is their growth rating, 9.5% is profitability rating, and 7.9% or basically is their cash flow, right? So 10 out of 9.1 growth, 9.5 profitability, and 7.9 is the cash flow, right? The next 1 year scenario is the best. The analyst forecast for the high is $250. Median is 192 and low is $100, right? So we are close to the median. And now I'll give you my view on what I think what is happening technically, because I do a lot of technical analysis. I'm CMT by designation since last 25 years. Since I did my CMT in 2002, and I'm associated with CMT Association since 1997. So got a lot of mentors. They have trained me a lot how to look at the markets. So let's look at Nvidia. Very simple chart. This is the weekly chart of Nvidia. Nvidia has a tendency of forming a rectangular consolidation. Similar thing what we have seen here. And we broke through around 153. We went into the top of the rectangle, which is 185, 185, 184 is the high so far. Now, Nvidia, all depends on Nvidia how the future of market will be, future direction of the market. If the guidance or earnings wise, I think it will come up with the best of the best earnings, right? China is an issue because they got the permission to export to China, giving 15% sales tax to the U.S. administration. But China has actually issued a note to their technology companies saying the government sector, they are not going to buy Nvidia, and for the private sector, they have issued the letters, like I know they have issued the letter like to Alibaba not to use the local chips. So if it fails to break 185 between now to post earning, most likely it is coming down to the bottom of the rectangle, which is in my case, it's the ideal scenario, 155, which I consider is an ideal scenario. But if there is a possibility that if it breaks 185, 187, then the next target is 215, right? Now I'll tell you why I think the ideal scenario is towards the downside, not the based on. It will be the game of guidance, right? It all depends how the guidance is. We'll see what happens, right? Let's go and let's look at the option market. So the option market put to call ratio is suggesting that the market is inclined towards calls. So you can see the ratio is about 0.69%. So this is put to call ratio. You can see 766K of open interest on call contracts, 531K of open interest on the put contracts. So higher on the call. The normal and implied volatility is also high, 89%, 90% is the implied volatility. Same thing in the next week. This is the week of 29th expiry, 29th of August. This is the week of 5th of September expiry. Call to put ratio, you can see it. It's more call oriented. Only in the second week, even the monthly calls is more call oriented. So any disappointment will see a very, very sharp decline. Any expectation in line with what market is expecting will see a gradual rise, right? So let's go and let's look into what we have here. So some of the points which I have got is options price are a move of 12.14% plus minus 12.14% post earning move for Nvidia, about $260 billion of swing in the market value. Right? Earnings due after Wednesday, and the key test is whether is it worth $4 trillion company, $4 trillion market cap. Traders will watch guidance and any fallout from Nvidia recent U.S. government revenue sharing deal. A strong print a strong print could revive beaten speculative AI names, right? Beaten up speculative AI name. Nvidia is still roughly 34% year to date up, so it closed about 181.72. So ignore this 0.82, so it's 181.72. There's a little typo there. So that's all from my side, guys, and that's what I think. So that's my opinion about what to expect from Nvidia.
Thank you, Ali. Thanks a lot. As always, this was amazing, wonderful. I have one question which I
Sure.
always do. It seemed what you said is that you're still expecting the market to continue to move up in the short term as well. Like in the long term, I'm confident the markets always go up and all, but in the short term as well. The reason I ask this question is because I see the market to be all-time high, and with my investments, I'm kind of more wary now versus what I was before, given it's touching all-time high. So I understand, and if you can reconfirm, you still see the short term to be moving upwards as well.
Well, I think that September, October has historically been not very good for the market, right? So what we have shown you in the chart, the seasonality wise. Now there is there is a possibility that it did not work in 2005 to 2015, and we are in 2025. So there's debate going on among the seasonality followers and technical analysts that there is a possibility that we may continue going higher this September and October, which will be very odd. But the seasonality pattern which I have seen is September, October is going to be somewhat corrective to a little bit going down. Now, whenever as I said, that technically when we break all-time high, there is a possibility of retest of that all-time high after we make a new high. We go to check the previous all-time high, and that possibility is valid here. And I believe September, October is the good month to do that before going further higher.
Got it. Thank you, Ali. This was helpful as always, and we'll keep bringing you in for more education information. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Take care.